right, coming right back in off the break. Reggie DAE's Radio, the best in podcasting and radio. So, as a wrestling fan, I know you guys heard last week, or for those of you who didn't catch last week's episode, Netflix has a gigantic $5 billion, that's right, billion with a B, $1 billion deal with the WWE for Monday Night Raw. They're going to be how the new home for Monday Night Raw, and they're going to be playing it live on Monday nights. So that's going to be very interesting. Of course, Netflix trying to break into the live programming game, and that's going to be a really dope look for those who are still, WWE fans. But on the eve of that, there's some controversy brewing up with Vince McMahon.
Yes, nasty work for sure. Just want to shout out The Rock because he in partnership with the TKO. The TKO company that's going to be that they're business partners with WWE.
Yeah, so, TKO is actually the company that not only works as far as like management over things like the WWE, but also UFC and all of those organized fighting events. So TKO is like the parent company. The Rock is he's actually part of their board of trustees now, and he also has the universal rights for the name The Rock, the name, the likeness. So all of it from like movies to action figures to reproduction and things like merch and all of that. He has the rights to all of it now.
Yeah, WWE got to pay him $30 million just to promote the brand. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah. So that's definitely good. Big shouts out to Dwayne The Rock Johnson. But the crazy news, Vince McMahon, for those of you who aren't familiar, Vince McMahon is the godfather of modern day wrestling. He at one point was the CEO, CFO. He was the creator, the founder. He's been so many different things, but pretty much he is the man when it comes to wrestling.
He carried it once WCW got out of business. He pretty much was part of the reason that they got out of business, to my knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And he carried the torch for wrestling for decades.
And now, now he finds himself as part of the Me Too movement. There's been a number of women that have come forward with allegations of things ranging from kidnapping to trafficking,
lewd sex acts in exchange for money, I want to say, or for just to have for the sake of having a job with WWE.
Yeah.
All types of stuff.
So there's a lot of different allegations. There's also allegations made by male wrestlers stating that they witnessed certain things. Some of them aren't even allegations as far as like that they've witnessed women that have come forward. There are some male wrestlers that have placed allegations and are naming women that haven't even come forward, saying that they've witnessed a number of different shady practices that have gone on with Vince McMahon and things that made even them feel uncomfortable, that they've watched Vince either tell women to do, make women do, just a number of different things.
See, that gets tricky because, I feel like that's playing that CYA game. Like, now y'all saying that because y'all know y'all might have been in the room when some shit happened and Shorty might say what you did or didn't do while you was there.
It depends, because we could talk about if we look at Kurt Angle, right? Like, Kurt Angle is one of the few that I can name where he recently was speaking about it. He said, there's been times where he had scenes where he had to kiss Stephanie McMahon, who's Vince McMahon's daughter.
Yeah.
And he talks about how uncomfortable that experience was for him, but he didn't just say it now. He said it when he wrote his memoir book. He said it in the past when he's done interviews and things of that nature. And he's kind of been one of the earlier, more vocal people to say that Vince McMahon was doing a lot of things that made him uncomfortable. And some of them involved his own daughter. There were situations where he felt like he was kind of pushed and prodded into doing sexual-like things with Vince's daughter. He said there were times where it looked like Vince was getting some sort of personal gratification off like watching him or other men mess around with his daughter and do certain types of things. And, he was saying that stuff before any of these women even came forward.
That's real. I'm just saying if there's other people, maybe other than Kurt Angle, that haven't, because I haven't kept up with the wrestling world in years, to be honest, as far as newer stuff. So if people are coming out saying that they saw stuff back then, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, people that are earlier on the vocal side. I'm just saying I feel like people may be now saying stuff because, again, they may have been participants or something crazy happened in front of them, and now they saying it only because the women are coming out.
I mean,
That
but
gets,
even then, that's, I don't think that's a...
That get tricky for me because it's like...
Sometimes you're not going to stand up for a person until they stand up for themselves.
That, or sometimes, because it's not your story, sometimes you have... Because we also forget sometimes that, let's say, you know, these guys were at work, this thing happened or whatever, but we don't know if these guys, you're dealing with regular life, which is what? Bills, kids, this, that, the third. Like, when you're not the focal of whatever it is that's going on, it's not going to be as heavy for you or as much your responsibility to, like, sound the horn. As much as it is whoever it is that actually is living through.
What if you do, and then the person who's the focal point
don't even want you to
deny it?
I'm not,
no, that never happened. And now you looking stupid, like you out here just making allegations against shit. You know what I mean? Like, so
I'm not saying it's a responsibility, but I feel like for y'all who you know may work, I feel like if you seen something crazy, lewd happen, no, that ain't the right thing to say because most people just gonna. Humans gonna turn the blind eye, so I'm not gonna keep going with that.
Well, the conversation we're having is more so it might not even count as the blind eye because what if it's because I've been in these situations before, right? Like I've worked with some people that I think are monsters, and I've seen situations where those men have done things that I'm not okay with seeing happen. And I approach the woman, I'm like, hey, are you okay? This and that. I offer support. But if that woman's not in the position where she wants to come forward or even, she don't even want it to be spoken about.
Well, you gotta mind your own business.
You got to mind your own business. And you also, even outside of that, in a lot of scenarios, when you're not the one who's the victim, it's not your story. None of it is your story, so you're not in control of any of it. Now, if that woman does come out in the future and say something, I actually think it's positive for you to come out and be like, I was there and I saw that. I think, because to me, that's like...
starting rumors is pretty much.
It's confirming that it's not a rumor. Like, she's not making this up. She's not somebody who's just saying this out of the blue. Oh, I was there. I think, because for me, if I was the person, and this is me assuming, this is a big assumption, but if I was that person naming that somebody did something to me that I didn't like, and 2 weeks later, somebody who was in the room comes forward and was like, yeah, I can confirm that I was in the room, I kind of would let out a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Like, so now it's not even an assumption no more.
Yeah, salute to anybody doing it on that time. I'm just thinking about, I shouldn't jump to a negative thing, but I'm saying I do believe that there's probably people who knew who they was in bed with, knew who they was working for, and may have even, like, you know, chuckled at some of that stuff they seen, egging them on, entertaining that stuff. Like, I'm just saying,
there's that too.
I highly doubt that there wasn't niggas doing that.
There's that too, but I will say this: even those people who may have chuckled at it or may have egged it on or whatever,
encourage it. I'm just saying, I could see people with this doing the CYA stuff.
Yeah,
salute to the people that's doing it with the good intentions, though. Like you spoke of, that was the right thing to do.
I'll say this: chuckling isn't against the law. Egging it on, even though egging it on should be against the law, it's not against the law. I don't think they would have to cover themselves. As long as you ain't touch nobody, you should be fine. You should be fine. At worst, you may get fired if it's a situation where, like, you're still in the workplace. Yeah. This is another manager. You got a manager to do something to an employee, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Then you might get fired at most. But we're talking about people who are like private contractors, millionaires. They're not really working like the corporate structure. So I don't think they really got to worry about that.
That's real. And something that I came across was some text messages that are about to be used for like court documents.
Oh man, here we go.
It's a lot that I can't. So the chick who came out, her name is Janelle. I don't want to mess up shorty. Janelle Grant. That's Janelle Grant. That's the lady who's speaking out against Vince in these acts.
Okay.
She posted. There's some screenshots that are supposedly a part of the court docs. I don't know if they're for sure or not. I got it from I follow a fight page for stuff, and they posted it on there. If these is accurate, I can't even really read everything that he said because he said some crazy stuff. So she has this text thread from him where he's like, I love it. That's you, Janelle. You just can't get it enough, can you? Skip. In the future, it's going to be so bad, you're going to demand to be effed twice a day, just not with Blake, just not with me in a 3-way. She was like,
whoa,
why not let others see your voluptuous body and watch you shake uncontrollably until when you know what I'm saying, release. You know, I don't want to get too crazy because it's dark out here.
Yeah,
I'm a chill. I could say the words, but I ain't gonna do all that.
Yeah.
He's talking about her pee, her breast, talking about how I want to see you get rocked by a big black, you know what I'm saying, pounded.
I definitely should have done a trigger warning.
Pounded away. That's why I'm not going crazy. Like I refuse to, because people listening to this, y'all might have y'all kids. And put it like this: if this is really him saying this, he's a sinister son of a bitch. Like some of the
under
stuff,
the jail, under the
jail. Stuff that he's saying to this lady about how I pretty much hope you get essayed.
Yeah.
And everything is crazy.
Yeah, he need to go. He need to go ahead and be roommates with Robert.
But what gets tricky now is that a text where she's saying where she's like going along with something he said. Where okay, bet. So he says exactly, baby, he's not the only one that called me the afternoon begging to eat you and F you with his, you know what I'm saying, blank. And then her response is, give me another week, baby, and I'll be ready. I'll be feeling more like myself. It's not great, but it's getting better. Tell him soon. And then he responds, I tell him already. By the way, Johnny wants Tuesdays, but not this one coming up. The occasional Saturday, but maybe I can shift to Thursday nights. Johnny will like all of the above. So it's like she's scheduling like.
Yeah, it sounds like he's pimping her.
Yeah, it sounds like she, after a while, was going along with some of this stuff.
Well, here's the thing.
She been going along with
those
it, but
messages,
maybe against her will.
I was gonna say, with a lot of this type of stuff, it sounds more like scheduling, and especially with her talking about, wait till I get back to my regular self. We don't know what she was going through. It could be body issues. It could be a lot of different things.
For sure.
And a lot of those types of situations, it takes. In order for a guy to put himself in a position where he has autonomy over a woman's body and he's like sending her to do things or whatever, there's a level of manipulation and control that it takes, that the moment we start bordering into all of that, that's when I'm like, okay, whatever they accused you of, because here's the thing, right? Bottom line, the moment that the line is crossed and something that the woman did not want to happen has happened once.
Yeah.
In the matter of your whole relationship, it don't matter if y'all been together 5 years, 10 years, 12 years. The moment that line is crossed one time, you should go to jail. That's how it works.
Yeah.
That type of conversation, that type of manipulation, the fact that at one point those were threats, because some of those messages were,
a lot of them were.
Most of those messages were setting up, okay, we're gonna schedule this and that or whatever. Threatening, I hope that you get blank, all types of, trigger essays, stuff like that, whatever. You sending those messages, the moment that a jury reads that, it's over for you.
Yeah, it's
over for you.
If those are real, you ain't dodging nothing, fam. It don't matter how much money, billions, whoever your partners is.
I don't care what your reasoning is. I don't care what your excuse is for why you felt mad enough to send some stuff like that. If they can verify that you were the one who sent the messages,
under the jail.
Yeah,
under the jail.
It's over for you. It's over for you. Yeah, man. No, you did a good job. Kind of minimizing the damage and minimizing the excess. Yeah, we do curse on the show, but we do have our limits. There's a lot of stuff that once it gets a little too dark, a little too crazy, we're gonna pull back because nobody wants to hear that, bro. And if you do, this ain't the show for you.
Yeah, this ain't Howard Stern show.
Yeah, we're not doing all of that. But thoughts and prayers to everybody who's involved. Thoughts and prayers to all the victims, whether they've come forward yet or the ones that haven't. Man, I've said this time and time again. I think it's time to clean the swamp. The more abusers, rapists, whatever it is that you want to, call these guys, the more of them that either get exposed, tossed in jail, whatever it is that comes their way as far as consequences, the better.
I don't feel bad for none of them. I just, I hope to not hear none of the legends that I loved in wrestling that are involved with anything that was going on with that. That's all.
Nah, most
Vince
stuff.
Vince had looked at dirty from the jump because like I was saying it off mic to my brother, like he always, even as a kid, I used to feel like it was strange how he would kind of look at his daughter. Like I feel like he would, I would kind of feel like he would be looking, because let's just call it what it is. Steph got a nice body and she a decent looking woman, and it felt like he would be kind of checking that out though. Like men know what that is.
For those who aren't that familiar with wrestling, Vince McMahon had a daughter and a son. His son was Shane McMahon. His daughter was Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie McMahon, the way that Vince kind of ran wrestling especially when he was like super active as the figurehead, he ran it as if they were prongs of like a reality show. So like there was he lived in the storylines of wrestling.